So welcome to day 11. This is I am Alok Shrivastava, and I hope you have completed all the days for the basics or SA1. So now we will be learning a very important topic, that is the Kickstart installation. We had learned, if you remember, in the first class, we had learned how to do the installation using the manual installation using the DVD or the ISO. That is fine. But in case I want to deploy hundreds of machines or tens or hundreds of machines, then the manual installation is not going to help you out. So we need a automatic installation. So in Red Hat, Kickstart is what is going to help you. What is the Kickstart? So Kickstart is used to deploy multiple systems with the same basic setup. That's the basic idea behind the Kickstart file. So it installs multiple machines. So how can I use it? It's very simple, but the prerequisite is that you should have a basic knowledge of IP addressing or DNS and the DHCP and YUM also. So YUM we had already configured. So what exactly is a Kickstart file? So a Kickstart file actually contains all the necessary answers to the questions that are asked during a typical installation. If you remember, when we had installed it manually, my machine has asked me certain question. I agree, give the partitions, root password, create a user account, and so on. So if I can create a file, a text file, and supply the answers in the order, and then redirect my installer Anaconda to go to that file, so that makes my job easier. So the human interference is finished. So the Anaconda will be taking all the answers from the answer file rather than looking at the user for the answers. So Kickstart was actually created by Red Hat to the need for automatic installation. How can I create a Kickstart file? So let's move further. So there are three ways in which you can create a Kickstart file. Number one, by hand, obviously. Number two, we have a tool here, system-config-kickstart. And the third one is that I can use the standard Red Hat program Anaconda. What happens when you install it, when you install the machine, if I show you here, my Anaconda automatically create a Kickstart file, anaconda-ks.cfg, based on the configuration of this machine. Means whatever configuration I had done on the machine, it records everything in the Kickstart format. This is it. Everything is recorded. See, these were the partitions that we had created. These are the packages that we had installed. So everything is recorded. So I can use this file and copy this file and modify this file, which is easy. One very interesting point to remember here is that in the previous version of RHEL, like RHEL 6, we are doing RHEL 7. So in the previous version of RHEL, the Kickstart was allowed for the upgrades also, but not now. Now in RHEL 7, the Kickstart is allowed only for the fresh installation. Whereas in RHEL 6, it was allowed, or it has the capabilities to upgrade it, but now it is solely used for the fresh installation. So how can I create a Kickstart file? Well, the recommended approach by the Red Hat is that instead of creating your own file by hand, instead of using existing anaconda.ks-ks.cfg, recommended approach is you create a machine manually using all those configurations which you want to be used for the mass deployment, like same partition, same package, whatever you need to be there on the servers which you are going to deploy in a mass basis, multiple servers. Create a VM, create a machine with all those configurations, all those packages, and then you get the desired anaconda-ks.cfg file, change it and share it on the network. That's the recommended approach. Okay, so though I don't have that machine, or I want to show it to you how you can use the system-config-kickstart tool. So what are the steps? So there are 4 steps involved in the Kickstart. Number 1, create a Kickstart file. Number 2, make it available on the network either by FTP or HTTP. Create a boot media, because ultimately you need to boot the machine, the refresh machine, or you can configure a PXE, pre-boot execution environment, and boot from the LAN, and then point that machine to the Kickstart file which is available on the shared server. So let's do first step first. Let's try to create a Kickstart file. So very simple thing. Number one, I have to check whether my yum is available to me or not. So let's check it out. So if I just give here yum repo list and find the yum is available. So if I can do a yum clean all and try to access it once again. So my yum should be available. Fair enough. Install a package yum install system hyphen config hyphen kickstart. This is the package you need to install. That's great. Yum is already configured. Fine. Obviously I need to press Y here. Great. So once the package is installed, I can verify this rpm query system hyphen config hyphen kickstart. It's installed. You will find this here, your kickstart files. Sorry. Yeah, kickstart. Or you can write there system hyphen config hyphen kickstart. Just click here. Supply the answers. So these are the answers which were created or being asked. So let's create a kickstart file. You can easily find it here. Kickstart. Just click here. So these are the same answers or the same questions that the machine asks you when you do a manual installation. These are the same things. So you need to supply certain things. Say I say English US. I can use the keyboard. Obviously I can choose my time zone, Asia Kolkata. So you can choose yours. I'll choose mine. Just scroll it down. It's very easy stuff. Just you need to take care of a couple of things. You can write here. That's it. Work here like this. Choose your time zone. Oh yes, we are here. Here it is. Asia Kolkata. Give the root password. So I'm giving Red Hat as the password here. Make sure it's encrypted. So perform installation in the text mode, which is recommended because it does it in a very fast, like it will take less time here. Okay, now select the installation method. How you are going to do the installation, how the Kickstart will be available. So here I will be using HTTP, Apache. So Apache server IP, I can give this machine IP. What's my IP address here? So this is 192.168.0.100. So I can give my IP address here 192.168.0.100, and I will be storing it under, say, where your whole ISO is. So I'll be copying it under a folder RHEL 7. Right here, RHEL 7. That's it. So inside this, I'll be copying the stuff, my whole DVD. Okay, so specify this. Now you will choose the bootloader option. So obviously you will be, as it is for the fresh install, use the bootloader. I'm not giving the grub password and all the things, just skip it here. Then the partitioning, how you wanted the partitioning to be happening. So first thing is that clear the MBR, because we will be requiring a fresh MBR here. Remove all the existing partition. Initialize the disk labels, and I can create the partition. I can add a partition here, so that which partitions you want to have. So I can say slash, mount point is slash, file system is XFS. I can change it later on also, right? Let's say I say boot, because I can put the boot here and then I can modify it, which I'll show you how to do it. Or you can specify the partitions right away from here. Boot size is, I think 500 MB is more than enough. Click on here, so you will see one partition coming up here like this. You can add more partitions, one slash XFS, and say size is say 4096. Okay, so you will find all these partitions coming up here. You can add more, say put var separately or other partitions separately. I'm not doing it, but yes, you can do it. You can add swap also. From here you can choose swap, say 2096 MB is a swap. So choose the partitions as per your wishes. Now network configure, how your machine is going to take the IP. So add a device here, so give it any name here. So I say Eno1, and I'm giving a static IP. So this IP will be assigned to it. So I give 192.168.0.111. Sorry, mask is 255.255.255.0, gateway is 192.168.0.100, my machine. And I don't have a name server, but still I'll give the same machine IP. Name server means the DNS server. I don't have a DSCP here, so I'm not using the DSCP right now. Okay, the authentication, the password will be encrypted using the SHA 512. I am not using any NIS LDAP Kerberos, so I'm just skipping this thing right now. Firewall is, again, you can skip it for now. SE Linux, you want to make it active, I am saying disable the firewall and disable everything. Display configuration, so I don't want to install in a graphical environment, so make it unchecked it. Now package selection, I'm not getting anything in the package selection. No problem, I can change it later on. Pre and the post install scripts, these are any commands or anything which you might want to run once the installation is over. So I'll just give a very simple example here. Let's suppose I intend to create a folder here, so I can create a folder here, say /data. So this will be executed once the machine is created. That's it. I'm just giving a very simple stuff. So once you are happy, you can save your file, give it any name. I'm saving it in my home directory right now, or please select a folder below. So I'll keep it in slash or temp. You can keep it anywhere you want, and then we have the option of modifying it also, so I can modify it. So I go to slash, I'm just writing it under temp right now, and give it the same name, ks.cfd. Job done. Close this. So now we have the file with us. So if I go to temp, you will have this file ks.cfd. so better is copy it in the home directory. Now we will do the modifications. So even after the file is available, you are free to modify it. See here, you can change anything from here. You can do anything from here, like partitions. So I can add or remove the partitions later on. So this is the section, partition section. See here, this is the partition section. So in case you want to change it, feel free to change it from here. can change from here. Let's suppose I intend to change the size of the slash, say make it say 10,000, or I can make it smaller and create the LVMs also, or say I make it here 4096. Then you can have it more part, I say slash var hyphen hyphen fs type is equal to xfs. So you can write it like this, hyphen hyphen size is equal to say 4096. So you can keep on adding your home if you want to have mounted separately. Fs type is equal to xfs, hyphen hyphen size is equal to say 2048. So you can keep on creating the partitions. I can also create LVMs and all those things from here. I can specify the host name also. I'm doing it for one machine. So if you see here in my network line, can you see device, boot protocol, static, Inno1, IP, name server. So I can write here hyphen hyphen host name. So this host name will be assigned to that particular machine. Say I say demo dot networknuts.net, anything. Then if you remember, we hadn't found anything inside the packages. So before the post here, before the post section, you need to create a section here, packages. Say no base, just write these lines here and specify the packages. So I'm just installing the core packages, nothing else, no graphics, no frills. And whenever you want to end the package, please remember you have to write end here, sorry, percentage end. That means this particular package section, the section is ended. So you should keep in mind that section should be in order. The first section is the command section. These are the command section. The second section is the package section. See, the package section. And then we have got the pre and the post sections. And each these packages, pre and post, they should always end with percentage end. Okay, so I have done this. So let's save it, come out. So you can do the modification also. And it is highly recommended that before you practically deploy it, why not check it for any syntax errors. There's a very simple command ks validator, but it's, so I write here ks validator and then the name of your kickstart file. So my kickstart file is ks.cfg. So the following problem, so there is a problem here, no such option -n. So it will give you issues or any errors. So I'll open the file once again. Let's see at line number 43. This is it. No base is what it's saying, the error. 43 packages. If I try to remove it and then check it out, again I give ks validator, it seems good to me. So this is how you can create your kickstart file. And the root password is also encrypted. If you remember, we had given the Red Hat as the root password. Here it is, it's encrypted, root password is encrypted. And in case you hadn't supplied the root password while you were creating the answer file, you can do it later on also. There is you can use the OpenSSL for this. See here, OpenSSL password, then whatever password you want to give, say Red Hat, say love learn Linux. I give love learn Linux is the password. So I'm creating a hash for this password. Sorry, it's 1 not L, sorry, it's MD5. See here, MD5 base algorithm. So you can copy it if you want. You can copy it If you want to change the password, open the file and please replace it here. So in this manner you can assign a new password. So I will just replace it here. Oh, just wait. Just replace it, paste it here. This is my new password here. So finally your file should be looking like this. Netmask, host name, I have specified the host name. Method is the text method. Mode of installation, right? URL is the location from where you will be getting the DVD. Language is US. Firewall is disabled. Network information I have specified the IPs and the other things. Host names can be specified here. The partitions can be specified, and in the post section you can have like certain uh, scripts to be written. So it's just going to create this small folder here. You can download certain files also if you wish. Just use the curl and the https. I'm not doing it right now. So if I again validate it as I had made the changes, done. So number one step is done. This is what you have installed the or created the Kickstart file, and I'm just installing the core packages. So any point of time you can give yum group info core to find out which packages will be installed when I like mentioned the core. So core group install these packages. So only these packages will be installed, nothing more. So the Kickstart is available. Step number one is done. Now the second step is, how will I share this Kickstart to the multiple servers on different locations? So Kickstart supports NFS sharing, HTTP sharing and FTP sharing. So I will be using HTTP because I have to like it's easy to do it, and so I just make sure that the HTTP package is installed. This is the second step to make the Kickstart available. It's installed, fair enough. Let me start the service and make it enabled. Don't forget this. Okay, it is enabled now. So what I do, I have to create a default document root for the Apache is where www.html. So here I need to create a folder RHEL7 with the same name that you had specified. So I have done this, and I create one more folder here. So one folder is there. I create one more folder, Kickstart. You can choose your name. Need not to use the same name. It can be any name. Now I will copy my Kickstart in the Kickstart folder and the RHEL DVD in the this folder. So what I do, my DVD is already there, so I'll just copy. First I'll copy it. Hyphen. I think I've got a space, enough space available. Yes, I've got 11 GB. That will make my life much more easier. So it's mounted here. I'll just show it to you. It's mounted under Run Media. I'll just copy the whole DVD. I give here cp-rvf run media allow this everything to RHEL7. First copy everything. So the whole DVD is available on the network. And then the next step will be, I need to copy the Kickstart file also inside the shareable location with the Apache. So for Kickstart, I will be using the Kickstart folder or the directory. Just a moment, it will take time and then we'll start. So the first step was to create a Kickstart file. Second step is to share it on the LAN. And I am using HTTP here, web services, Apache. Why I choose it? It's a very common technology and normally used by all the companies, easy to use and is secure compared to FTP. So I normally use HTTP to share or to use the Kickstart. Just a moment guys, it will take time. In the meanwhile, if you wish, you can grab a cup of coffee or tea, whatever. Done. This is done. That's great. Sorry. Somehow the caps lock is on. You'll find if I go to RHEL 7, I have the DVD available here. That's great. Now I need to copy my Kickstart file inside the Kickstart folder. So I copy my ks.cfg to var www html kickstart. If you wish, you can change the name. It's totally up to you. So I say my kick.cfg. I copied it. So if I go to var www html kickstart, you will find the my kick.cfg available here. That's great. This is done. I had shared the source ISO as well as the Kickstart. How can I verify it? It's very simple. If you open the browser and try to hit yourself, it should show it to you as the Apache is running. So if I give my IP http://192.168.0.100, oh sorry, /kickstart, it should show me the file. That's great. mykick.cfg. So this is how you can verify that okay, whether everything is working properly or not. So I can create multiple Kickstart files also for different departments. Now what? Now comes the third step. So what's the next step? So after we had created the Kickstart file, we had shared it using the Apache, and the Kickstart file is residing inside my var www html kickstart, and my DVD, the whole repository is available under RHEL 7. So after this, the next step and the final step is we need to configure the PXE. So the first step in doing the configuring the PXE is that I need to install certain packages, say DNS mask. I need to install the Zynet. I need to install TFTP server. I need to install these packages. DNS mask will be used for configuring my DSCP, and Zynet will be giving my TFTP, and the packages of the TFTP is this. And for PXE configurations and the boot files, we have got syslinux. So you need to install these packages. Perfect. First, install these packages. Next is once the packages are installed, I need to configure each one by one. So let's first configure the easiest one, the Zynet. So go inside etc Zynet and TFTP, and you should make it disable no. That means enable. Disable no means enable. Remember this. Disable no means enable. Save and come out. Restart the Zynet. Systemd restart Zynet D, and systemctl enable Zynet. So one job is done. My TFTP is running. That's great. The next step is let's configure the DNS mask, which is the most important and slightly difficult to configure. So the package is already installed, and it will give me a conf file dnsmask.conf. So it's better to copy this file inside my home directory first as the backup in case something goes wrong. Now if my IP is, I'll just cross check it, 192.168.0.100, and my interface name is this. So I need to copy this. Now I open my dnsmask.conf file, and I need to do some changes. This file, if you read, is a highly commented file. highly commented file. No single option is activated except this line. So either I can search options and edit it, otherwise I can write my own options here. That's better. So first is I will be writing my interface, which interface to listen. So I specify my interface and the loop back. Second is I should be specifying my domain name. So I can specify my domain. My domain will be networknuts.net. Any name can work. The DSCP range, which range I intend to share. So first you insert your interface name and then the start IP 192.168.0.say 40, and the end IP I give is 50. 192.168.0.50, and then you need to specify your subnet mask, and then you need to specify the duration for which the IP should be given. So I gave say 2 hours. Then you need to specify your DSCP boot, where the PXEs are, the PXE conf files are. So you write here PXE linux.0, this is the file, and the PXE server on which machine it is there. So obviously it's my machine, so I should be giving my IP, local IP 192.168.0.100. So that means when after the DSCP give the IPs, it should try to go to this IP and try to load the PXE linux.0 boot files. I can specify the gateway also. It's the option actually. The option 3 is for the gateway, and then specify your IP. So I'm giving my IP address. I don't have any other machine here. I can specify my DNS servers. Not mandatory, not at all mandatory. So the DNS server code is 6, and I specify my IP as the DNS, or you can skip it if you wish, as it is option. Option means optional. It's not at all mandatory. I give 192.168.0.100, and you can have multiple DNS coming up like this. Like here I had used the Google DNS server. I can use the broadcast option also. Again, these are options, not mandatory. These are optional. So broadcast IP will be 192.168.0.255. Obviously we know this. NTP can be configured, which is a good option actually, though it is optional, but I recommend configuring with the NTP IP so that the clients, whatever machines you are trying to do the installation using the Kickstart and the PXE also, which we have added in this chapter, will automatically get the IP. So I'll just give 0.0.0, or your IP can be given. Then I can give the PXE prompt. So this is interesting now. PXE prompt can be anything. Say press F8 for menu, and how long this should appear, say 60 seconds. Then PXE service you need to specify. So you need to give it x86 PC, and then any message that you intend to write here, say RHEL 7 using PXE and Kickstart, anything, and then write PXE Linux, and you need to enable the TFTP obviously. And where is the location? So you need to give the TFTP root. This is the location where the TFTP files are. So they are under var lib TFTP boot. Var lib TFTP boot. So this is what you have to write here. So interface here means the interface that the server should be listening. Domain obviously means the domain name, DSCP range, the boot IP I had specified, all these things. PXE service. So x86 PC is actually the code here. x86 PC is actually the code for the your 32-bit and the 64-bit architecture. So save and come out from here. Now the next step is that I need to copy the syslinux bootloader files into var lib TFTP. So sys Linux is already installed. I can verify it. rpm query sys Linux is installed. That's great. So I need to copy all the contents of USR share sys Linux to var lib tftp boot. You need to copy everything into var lib tftp boot. I'll do what? I'll just do recursive verbose forcefully. So I can give a force here. I think the contents are already there. So what I do, let me see. If I do one thing, let me remove it. Var lib, if any files are already there in it. I remove this. Now copy this. That's great. So if I go to var lib tftp boot, I have all the contents here. So these are the bootloader files which are required by the remote machine to boot. So I copied this. Now I need to set up, the next step is I need to set up a PXE config file. So what is a PXE config file? So what is a PXE config file? So PXE config file is actually the menus and the location from where to load the kernel and where is the kickstart file is being stored there. So what you need to do, you need to go in this folder and create a folder PXE linux.cfg. Move inside this, create a file default. The name should be default. You should remember this. The name should be default. Now write these contents here. Default menu 32 is the file. Actually, I'm calling the file from 0 anything. Timeout, you can specify number of seconds. So I say 200 seconds. On timeout means if you hadn't pressed any key during 200 seconds, what to do? So boot from the local hard disk. Then you can have menu and title, whatever. You have to be careful for typo errors here. Anything, say RHEL 7 PXE kick. Anything you can write here. That's great. So label 1, the option 1, that means. So you need to write menu label caret 1. Anything you want to write here. Say RHEL 7 using PXE kick start. You can write anything here. Where is the kernel? So kernel, I need to copy it. I'll do it under RHEL 7 VM Linux. So I have to create this folder under var lib tftp boot and copy my kernel here. And I also need to copy my init.rd file. Method stdp / 192.168.0.100/RHEL7, the location where your repository is, and you can specify the kickstart file also. Then where is my kickstart file? Because you want the kickstart to be used. So you can specify a kickstart also. ks is equal to stdp / 192.168.0.100/kickstart mykick.cfg. So this is how you specify both the things. You can write more labels if you wish. Say label 2, menu label. You need to do a lot of typing. I can see your face here, but that's the only way. So local boot, and then write anything, say local boot or something, boot from local hard disk. So you need to create this file like this. Once it is done, I need to copy the kernel. So inside the TFTP, I need to create a folder RHEL7 because I had given that same name here, and I need to I need to go inside RHEL7 and I need to copy my var www html rel images PXE boot VM Linux here, and I need to copy my init.rd here. These two files should be there. So why RHEL7? Because this folder RHEL7 it's the same name. If you see here, I had given in my default file RHEL7. So RHEL7 means it will go under this path is relative to the var lib tftp boot. So it goes under var lib tftp boot and then load the kernel from here. So this is what we had done. We had copied it. The ISO is already available. The Kickstart is already available. That's great. So let me try and check whether everything is working or not. So let me check the status of HTTPD. It is running. Let me check the status of XANET-D. This is running. So let me try and start the DNS mask service. This is the most critical service. Let me see the status. So you can see there the DNS mask is running. There was some clash of the port, so I just restarted the service and rebooted my machine. So it's working here. So let's see if I try to do a restart and check it if it is available after the restart. Also I do a restart and check the status. It's perfectly, it's working here. So the DNS mask is running here. So all the things are ready and set and go. So let me go to the, if the firewall is enabled, in case the firewall is on, so you need to add certain services in the firewall. So systemctl firewall cmd -list -all. So let me add certain services here. You need to add these services. Permanent -add service is equal to your DNS. So though the DNS is not there, but in case you have got the DNS running, DSCP need to be given. Right, for TFTP you need to write port number 69 of the UDP. So I have to use add port. And then you have to add for the DSCP proxy, though it is not required, but we can use it. Add port. Or in case you are, as you will be doing it for the first time, I would recommend if you can just disable the firewall and check it, so that at least you should be comfortable in seeing yes, it's working. Right, so though I had loaded it, but I will stop the service so that these all are added here. But just for the simplicity, just for the sake of the simplicity, I'll stop the firewall. So I don't have any rules here. That's great. So now let me start one more machine and try to boot it from the LAN. So you can see there my new machine, the demo kick, I had booted it from the LAN. I'm getting the same menu. I press F8, my menus are coming up. Just press enter here. Oh, the same menu that we had created in the default file. Just press enter. So the machine has booted from the network using the PXE. And now if everything is working fine, the whole installation should be going using my Kickstart file. So let's see it. You might get some issues like related to some Dracut errors. Don't panic. Those are normally the issues from the network side. So if you are using VMware workstation like I am using, so make sure they are in the same network and there should be no DSCP running on that network. So you should disable it by using the VMware editor, like here, from here. VMware Virtual Editor. See here, as I had used in the text mode, so no graphics is coming up. The whole installation will keep on going. Either I can wait, or you can see there it will eventually automatically install the remote machines. So all these packages are getting installed. So this is for the day, so I'm not going to wait for all that time. It will take a lot of time here. So if you are getting all this installation and like installing messages which you can see on the screen, that means everything is right and perfect, and you have just learned how to configure a Kickstart and a PXE using RHEL 7. And remember, PXE is not in RHCE training, so it's something that we had learned extra. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next class.